What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and James Gunn, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, James? Come on, dude, for real. Man. I mean, this is not the news you want to start off the DCU with. Birds of Prey and Bumblebee writer Christina Hodson, part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU writing team, another massive red flag. This is probably the biggest red flag of them all to me, at least so far. I'm not overly excited about the James Gunn universe, at least what's been offered up so far, but I am kind of like, it's a nothing burger until we see more, okay? Until we see some of this stuff start to come out. Right now, it's just kind of a nothing burger. It's not the big splash that DC really needs, to kind of compete with Marvel. All of that aside, I kind of trust James Gunn in terms of his personal writing. He's writing certain scripts, cool. But golly, man, this chick here is not a good writer, man. She just hasn't been a good writer. I don't know if you guys have seen these two films that they're talking about here, Birds of Prey. You already know my opinion on Birds of Prey, man. I think that movie is absolutely horrible, okay? Boring as all get out, okay? Not fun. Completely the wrong way that they should have even went with the female characters in DC. I felt like Gotham City Sirens always should have been first, and then that would lead into Birds of Prey. But nevertheless, this is just a bad idea overall. And then you got Bumblebee. And do you guys remember Bumblebee, right? Like the first few minutes of that movie, right? Like the first few minutes of Bumblebee when, it's going down, right? And you was watching that movie like...
Where's B-127?
And then after that, like when John Cena shows up, it's like, get back. That's how that movie went, right? And that was this chick that wrote this trash, okay? Let's go ahead and check out this article, man. This ain't good news whatsoever. Let me tell you that right now. And of course, this is on Bounding in the Comics. DC Studio CEO Peter Safran confirmed that Birds of Prey writer Christina Hodson is part of his and James Gunn's DCU writing team. During a press event providing details about his and Gunn's vision for the DCU, as well as revealing the first 10 projects on their slate, Safran confirmed that Hodson was a part of their writing team. While discussing how the canceled Batgirl film, oh yeah, that's right, she wrote Batgirl too. You get it now? Okay, do you get it now? Remember we did that kind of review of the synopsis of Batgirl, that leaked synopsis. I'll go ahead and link that above if you didn't see that video. But yeah, this is the writer of that film, okay? It's not good. Come on, James. While discussing how the canceled Batgirl film written by Hodson would have hurt those involved in the project and that it was not releasable, Safran said, Christina Hodson, the writer, she's someone that we're already back in business with, a lot of talented people involved, but the film is just not releasable. He added, it would not have been able to compete in the theatrical marketplace. It was built for the small screen. I think that's not an easy decision, but they made the right decision by shelving it. Look how they're trying to clean it up, right? Look how they trying to clean this crap up, okay? I mean, you have HBO Max if you really thought the movie was that good, okay? It's just trash. Just admit to it. It's okay. Be honest. That's what we want from this. Just be honest, please. Hodson is the perfect example of current Hollywood writing that drives audiences away. Yep. While promoting her subpar Transformers film, Bumblebee, Hodson reveals she self-inserts herself into the film she writes and has bought into the false narrative that you have to have direct representation in fiction. She told Den of Geek, I always wanted to see me be the hero. I wanted to see me kick ass. I mean, not literally. I had no desire to be an actor, but I wanted to have those role models and those heroes. I think that's what's really fun is that Bumblebee is a big, cool, fun action movie the boys are going to love, but the girls love action too. And this is a chance for the girls to see themselves in the movie, which I think is really special and an important thing. Like, that's one of the problems. Like, why do you need to see yourself in a character, right? Like, the idea that you cannot enjoy a movie or a character for that matter unless you can like personally see your race or your gender or whatever in the character is just faulty in the first place. That's a big issue, right? It's faulty in the first place, and it really leads to a lot of bad writing. And I know these writers are all about the inclusivity. We must include everyone. We must bring it all in together. Everybody, we're all big, one happy family. But this is just the wrong way to go about it. Like, for me, that's the problem. Like, her writing is kind of always the same. Kind of like Bumblebee, right? It's like you got these moments of good writing and then it's followed by 10 straight minutes of gobbledygook. You're like, what the hell is this? And they needed like a couple of more writers to come in and clean this whole thing up. That's what I said on the previous video, if you remember. If you remember that previous video that I did just a little bit ago about Rey in Star Wars, right? I said this, is that you have an agenda, and what ends up happening is you're trying to write your agenda into what should have been a pretty decent story, but you got to get that inclusivity in there somehow, and so you're just wedging it and shoehorning it in, and now you've completely destroyed whatever narrative that you had. I mean, it makes the movie unwatchable. Stop. To elucidate this point further, Hodson revealed that Harley Quinn is inspired by her and her general bad behavior. When asked if one of her family members inspired her interpretation of the character, she told The Hollywood Reporter, sadly, no, just me and my general bad behavior, although my sister did inspire the hair tie moment, which apparently people seem to like on the internet. Just stop putting yourself in movies, chick, okay? Stop doing it, right? Write a movie, think of a friend, okay? Don't even think of somebody that you know. Think of a friend and like the loose information that you know about that person and put that person in the movie, okay? Stop putting yourself because you're too close to the character and you really don't see the problems when you're too close to something. Hodson also appears to buy into the idea that the characters have to be wounded in order to be interesting. When asked what makes a great superhero character, she told the Mary Sue, oh, I think it's the same thing that makes any great character, nuance and complications and depth. Being a person that's full of contradictions and having a clear goal of what you want, but sometimes the obstacles are internal as well as external. All characters have some level of obstacles, okay? Like, let's get that out of the way. The issue is then when you self-insert, okay, characters with obstacles and problems, okay, you're automatically going to project all of your issues and all of your problems onto that character. And what you end up with, honestly, is what we got with Velma, with Mindy Kaling, or with Jessica Gal doing She-Hulk, okay? You get like the writer, okay? You don't get like the character of She-Hulk and Velma. You get the writer, okay? Just acting themselves out in the damn show. That's the problem. The character just becomes some kind of doppelganger of the damn writer. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody asked for that. They want to see the character that they know and love. And they're getting like the writer wandering around on the set in a She-Hulk suit or whatever. Like Jessica Gal is projecting herself through this character and all of her woes and issues and everything like that. This chick doesn't understand how to do what it is that she's trying to do. And you end up creating a character that nobody can relate to but the writer. So all of the stuff that she's trying to accomplish, okay? Oh, you got to be able to see yourselves. I want little girls to see themselves. All they see is you, okay? And if they can't relate to you personally because they don't have your same issues and problems and everything like that, then it's just a wash. They don't care. It's like, whatever. It's just a dumb character. And the sad part is the writer will never see that, okay? They trust these cats to get out here and do this stuff, but the writer will never see it because she's so close to her own character. She is the character. And you know how you really can't see some of the problems that you might have in your life, but people on the outside can see it? It's the same thing. You can't see the problem in the writing because you're too damn close to it, and now you're just writing slop, and it's just a mess. I think that one of the things with Charlie and Bumblebee is she's the one holding herself back after the loss of her father. She's the one kind of stopping herself from being able to connect with people. Hodson can continue. You know, let me say this. Complications and nuance are kind of problematic for heroes. Like, heroes should stand for something. They're the ideal, right? They're the ones that the audience is looking up to at that point. You know, you can show like some levels of complication with their lives, but not with the character of that hero, okay? I mean, in my opinion, the best heroes are kind of like paragons of virtue, you know, like Superman, you know, truth, justice, the American way. That's what he stands for. That's who he is, okay? He doesn't waver around. He's not complicated. He doesn't have problems with that. It's kind of like one of the reasons that people hated The Last Jedi, Luke. Because Luke is supposed to be this, and they tried to show nuance. And it's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's the reason people like heroes. You're forgetting the reason people liked him in the first place. What made him heroic, what made him an interesting character was his convictions. Who he was as an individual person. You can't go nuancing that all over the place, okay? Villains can be all of that. Villains can have all of those complications, but not heroes. And then that's just my opinion, okay? I think that's why this chick kind of messes up every time she's writing superhero stuff, because she's trying to write nuance into the character where character doesn't belong. That's fine for like a regular character, okay? Regular characters, I think what she's saying makes a lot of sense. But for superheroes, which is the question they asked this chick, no, that's not going to be good at all. She then explains, so yeah, I think it's just about adding the richness and the depth, and sometimes it's messy and murky and complicated as a writer. You have to find the character through a process of trial and error sometimes, but I think it's not just going too simple. It's looking for the good and bad in people. Yeah, again, she's trying to add too much to it. Superheroes should be mostly simple, okay? We root for the things that they stand for, and, you know, they are, like I said, these paragons of virtue. They might have, like, a few issues or whatever, but it's nothing that's, like, complicated to their character, okay? You know, it's like, dang, you know, Clark wanted to get with Lois, but, you know, he's having trouble kind of like showing her, oh, should I tell her who I am or whatever? You know, like that kind of stuff. There could be some complication in his life like that. Peter Parker has to work for the boss that hates him, you know what I'm saying? Hates his character, his hero, okay? Yeah, that's fine. Those are the kind of complications you can get away with in a superhero show. Not the kind of hero problems that she has, where she's giving these guys like mind issues, right? Like these guys are struggling with who they are. You know, no. Like these guys are who they are because of who they are. There's something inside of them. That's what people like about heroes. Batman is such a great character because he's a hero, but he also comes across as a villain sometimes. He's dark and brooding, but also driven by good things. He's got wounds in his background that make him complex and interesting. Like Batman may be the one character in the entire comic book genre that you can get away with him being kind of like a borderline psychopath. You know, and he's got all kinds of issues. Again, that's his character. You can't do Batman with every character that's out there, okay? Because some characters are just not like that. She also had Black Canary reluctant to use her iconic canary cry, claiming it was a metaphor for not using your own voice. I think it was more of a metaphorical thing and just the fear of using your voice generally. I think a lot of people can relate to that fear of getting involved. Yes, absolutely. What happened to her mother put a piece of that in her, but with or without powers, I think it would have been there. Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, man, putting stuff into the character, you know, the reluctant character, the reluctant hero that doesn't want to get involved. Like, these are not character traits that people want out of their heroes, okay? Even at the very beginning, you know, the heroes are supposed to be the ones that take on the bad guys, that fight the fights that we're not able to fight, you know? And they're, oh, I don't know, I don't want to use my power, you know, because I'm afraid to use my voice and get involved and all this other stuff. Then I don't like you as a hero right now. Off the bat, off rip, I do not like you as a hero. Okay, you're not the hero I want. And get where's Wonder Woman at? Get her over here, okay? She'll save the day. This chick is afraid to use her voice. I'm not trying to do this. This is, again, somebody that doesn't understand superheroes. That's just, again, my personal opinion. And then she goes on and continues talking about her nonsense. Look, this chick is now in a writer's room, okay? She wrote Birds of Prey, a film that flopped at the box office, only bringing in $201 million at the global box office, despite having a reported $82 million production budget. You know, granted, it was right around the time of the pandemic. You can maybe make some excuses for that. I really don't, because again, the movie wasn't that interesting. And they kind of told us a movie about Harley Quinn that really wasn't about Harley Quinn. You know, it was just a mess of a movie. I don't think she did a good job writing the character of Harley Quinn, or pretty much any piece of it, all right? You can kind of see the IMDb ratings. You know, most people gave it about a 6 or a 7. That's a very generous score, in my opinion. You know, it's a very average. The Critical Drinker excoriated the film. Birds of Prey is a garbage movie, and I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. It's disposable entertainment of the highest order, something you're expected to consume with absolutely zero thought or intelligence and then promptly forget about. Yep, that's exactly what... I mean... I couldn't even give it that good of a score. I mean, he said, yeah, he's at least saying it was entertainment. You know, this thing wasn't entertaining to me at all, you know. But anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? Now she's in the writer's room with James Gunn and all the other writers. I don't know, maybe she's in there for, you know, female brownie points, inclusivity, you know. It's like, yeah, we had to have a woman. She's wrote some stuff. She's on the staff. Yeah, bring her on in. Maybe that's why she's in there. I have no idea, but, you know, it's not a good sign. Anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? Go ahead, get down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and your opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.